Hello. Hi. How are ya? Welcome back, everybody, and thanks for being here. So I wanted to talk a little bit about a conversation, not so much the conversation itself, but what it was that we were talking about, that I had with the Emerald Wood over on Instagram. She's amazing. Go and have a look, _the Emerald Wood. And we were just kind of chatting backwards and forwards, and the conversation came up about, being a psychic, being somebody in the spiritual field, being a healer, and wanting or feeling the need to do all of the things. And it got me thinking about how that applies to our everyday lives. And I feel as though we all do that, whether you are a healer, a mum, a uni student, a doctor, whatever it is. I feel like everybody has this sense at times of feeling as though there's all the things to be done and not enough time. And the same can be said for, feeling like we want to help each other, we want to support each other, we want to provide for each other. And sometimes maybe, we're extending ourselves too much. Perhaps we're trying to help too many people, and in the process we end up not helping anybody, but also we end up not helping ourselves. And it kind of just got me thinking about that. And we were talking about blockages, and we'd recently both done participated in the 3-day channeling with Pamela Chen over at, let me think, I think the group's called Enchant. But basically, we were talking about blockages and energy healing and all of that sort of amazing fun stuff. And it just got me thinking about how much of our blockages, energy blockages, belief systems, all of the above, come from overextending ourselves, whether it be in the process of wanting to help too many people, whether it be in the process of wanting to attract a better life or wanting to provide a better life. So feeling like we have to get all of the things done in order to do that, in order to achieve that. And through our conversation, I just kind of realized that it's really counterproductive. And when we not only try and do too much, but feel this need to do all of the things at the same time, it just, it creates blocks, it creates limitations, because you just can't do all of the things. You just can't. There's not enough hours in the day. There's not enough energy in the vessel. Like, we're not going to be able to do everything that we want to do. And I feel like I've been guided more and more and more as somebody that has lived her entire life, not planning. I kind of have always lived with the notion of, if you get a thought in the head and it's something that is achievable, then you do it. And fair enough. But what about the stuff that subconsciously perhaps you feel that you can't achieve, or the stuff that you want to achieve but just know that logistically it's going to take more time, or you've been told it's going to take more time. So yeah, it just kind of had me really kind of, both the conversation and the channeling, and I'll provide that information somewhere. I'm having a blank at the moment. I can't remember what the heck it was called, but it was amazing. Lemurian, I'm not going to be able to remember. I'm going to butcher it. I should have had it written down. See, trying to do all of the things and you can't get anything done. But my point here is, it just kind of had me go back to basics a little bit. And as a practitioner and as a, somebody that provides readings and wants to connect with people and wants to help people transition out of energy that is holding them back, it just made me really think, like, why am I here? Why am I called to do this? Am I putting my energy and focus into that, into helping people? Because that's the goal. And, raw, brutal honesty, I don't feel like I really was. I was kind of getting caught up in all the things that you have to do, You have to engage your audience. You have to provide readings. You have to showcase what you can do. You have to, and in that process, I don't feel like I was getting the message across, and I don't feel like I was helping people. And, I can't remember the last time. I mean, I took Reiki services off my website, like energy healing off what I was providing people, because I don't even know why. Like, I just feel like I was trying to do too much, and that was one thing that I couldn't focus my energy on and couldn't give time to, because I was caught up and lost in all of the have to do's. And I really feel and I'm going to meditate with this energy as well, because I'm really feeling like I'm getting some perspective and clarity. But I just felt like, that applies to everyone. It's not just people that are providing a service. It's not just, healers and energy workers or tarot readers or psychics or mediums. It's everybody. I remember before doing this work, I would wake up and be like, oh, I'm going to do all of this with my day, or when I finish work, I'm going to do all of these things. I'm finally going to, post on my blog website, or I'm finally going to sit down and paint for 4 hours. And you just didn't do it. Either you were buggered or there was too much that you wanted to do, so you just kind of ended up doing nothing. And how, I feel like the motivation, I feel like the want and need to do, whether it's doing something for yourself or doing something for another person, I think that's great. And I think that's really important in everyday life, at least for me. But kind of channeling that energy and channeling that desire to do in a way that's actually getting shit done, I think that can be the struggle when you feel like there's a lot of other things. There's the have to do stuff. There's the other stuff that you want to do. There's the stuff that, is limited to time or a particular day or time where it has to be done. And then there's obligation. Like, so much can kind of block from the true essence of what it is that you either want to be doing or feeling like you should be doing. And I just, it made me just think, and I felt really kind of, I don't know, it was like a light bulb moment, I guess, and something that perhaps should have been obvious really wasn't. And, I just kind of felt, once again, I felt instantly motivated, so I went and did a heap of stuff. But also, it was stuff that was done with perspective. It was stuff that I sort of, before doing it, I would pause and be like, okay, like, is this beneficial? Like, am I just procrastinating by doing this or implementing this or focusing my energy on this? Or is this actually beneficial? Like, is this going to help me along or make me feel better once it's done? And kind of the idea of like being mindful before you, and I mean, it doesn't have to be a chore, but as somebody that just kind of flows with things, and then, you get to the end of the day and you realize you've done 400,000 little bits of one thing and not actually really got any one thing done. Even with a list, even if writing out a list, it just kind of made me realize, there's productivity in being mindful about what it is that you're spending your energy on. And I could be late to the game with this. Like, you all might be listening to this and being like, girl, where you been? What rock you been laying under? And everybody might have caught on that. For me, I've always been taught if you've got things to do, you write them down in a list, and then that's enough. That's being productive. That's, that's kind of where the penny drops, and that's it. And just through this conversation and through the meditations and the sessions that we were doing and kind of grasping a little bit more on the concepts of time, which I won't go into because I'll be rambling, but and being mindful about where it is that we're focusing, and I suppose the point and the epiphany that I had was in wanting to achieve, say, the end goal, which for me was put in the perspective of, wanting to reach a lot of people, wanting to connect with a lot of people and help a lot of people, without kind of really going back to how it is that I do that that's productive. I, in the end, wasn't doing that at all because I was spreading myself too thin. And, just applying that same idea to, the same concept to everyday life. I know I'm kind of, I may be missing the point. I know that I'm kind of rambling, but it just really had me thinking, and I suppose I wanted to talk to you guys about it and see if there's anybody else that's listening to this that kind of is resonating with what it is that I'm trying to say, and feels the same way. Do you have kind of like an end goal, but you feel like you're not achieving the end goal, even though maybe you've put it out in pinpoints? Perhaps you're not feeling like you're achieving the end goal with everything else that kind of gets in the way. And I think I'm going to be looking into this a little bit more over the next couple of weeks, and maybe we'll talk about it in the next podcast episode. But perhaps looking into, or meditating on it, or coming up with ways to kind of channel the energy. Because I feel like today, even just after the epiphany and realizing, like, in the end, I'm not really getting anywhere. I'm doing all the things, but I'm not getting anything anywhere. So really kind of looking at what's specifically important and what's specifically correlates with the end result, or goal, or hopeful outcome. And only kind of doing things that are in alignment with that. And I did that today. And I feel like it's got me somewhere. I mean, we'll find out, in the coming days, but even just from a mental and energetic standpoint, like, I feel good about it. I feel like I've achieved something. I don't feel like I've spread myself too thin, trying to just do a heap of things because I feel like I have to do them. I've kind of gone with the mindset of, does this feel good? That's it. Like, I'm not looking at it like, is this going to get me where I want to be? Or is doing this going to achieve a goal? Even though it will. But I've not looked at it from that point of view. I've looked at it from, is this in alignment with what I want? But also, how do I feel about it? How does it make me feel? Like, am I doing this and then being like, ugh, I really can't be bothered? Or is it productive? Anyway, I hope that makes sense. I'm kind of just going with a stream of thought at the moment. I really didn't, apart from, the motivation from the conversation, because I feel amazing about the conversation, and I feel like it was a conversation that kind of needed to be had, and I think I just wanted to talk with you guys about it as well, as a way to kind of get your input. Like, how do you, once you've kind of decided on the goal or the end result or whatever it is that you want to work towards, what's then the process? Do you just go and do a million things, or do you structure and these words to me even sound really limiting, so it's kind of telling me that this is a real blocked area, and I'm going to be focusing on this because I didn't even realize that this is something that I was restricting or holding on to as a burden. But I'm realizing now that there may be more work to do here than I perhaps otherwise thought. But is that something that you do? Like, do you kind of really structure things out and then go off it step by step? And then what's your success rate? Or are you somebody that kind of goes, okay, this is the goal, and then just allows it to happen and see what goes from there, and maybe pinpoints what needs to be, what you need to do, but that's where the kind of structure of things ends, and you just kind of know what to do. Does that make sense? You just kind of know what to do next, because that's kind of how my brain works. Like, I don't really structure things. I'm like, this is the goal, this is what I'm working towards, and then my brain just kind of blurts out everything, and every day I kind of check off a mental checklist as opposed to the physical list. And I mean, I write lists all the time, but I very rarely refer back to them. I'm noticing a theme here. Yeah. But anyway, I'm interested to kind of work through this energy and work through this kind of altered concept of doing things. This could be just a personal thing for myself, but I do feel like there's going to be other people out there that are going to relate with this. Yeah, so let me know. I'm very interested. You can email me, shannonguioni@outlook.com. Guioni is spelled Gioni. You can find my information there, or just go to my website, www.shannonguioni.com, and all of the info and ways to contact me is all listed on there. Again, go and follow the Emerald Wood. Her content is amazing. I think she's amazing. Underscore the Emerald Wood, WOOD, on Instagram, and yeah, see what she's got going on over there. This girl is great. Okay, so I'm going to get this put up. It may not make a lot of sense, but I just, wanted to talk to you guys about it. We all know we don't structure things around here, so we get whatever comes out at the time. But I appreciate you for being here, and I'm interested to hear what you have to say. Have a great Easter for those of you in the southern that are celebrating, and everywhere else. I think it's the same time. I don't know. We don't look at things around here. We just talk. But yeah, much love to you guys, and I'll talk to you next month. Okay, bye.